All right. All right. Let's see if we're live. We should be live, right? All right. Let's see if we're live. And if a certain YouTuber comes on, I will block him. I don't know what to do. And we're live. All right. So let every nation and belief come to Jesus. This is as simple as it gets. Now let me be more specific and less simple. Even the Jews, yes, I would say even the Jews who are being persecuted, let those come to Jesus, those people, because quite honestly, these people who are mocking the Jews, they're mocking him in Germany in a rather horrible way. They're exaggerating things. They're putting him in a, let's say, despicable cell. They're making them seem rich and with rats on his shoulder, and I'm not gonna say anymore. It's just, this is enough. I've had enough with these people right now that say, "Oh, Jews do not belong in this land." This is why I'm mainly going at right now. Now, every religion has its faults in the past, but not to mention that Christians have also had their faults with the army of the Crusaders. The Crusaders are Catholic, and they're a sect of Christianity. I don't think they're really a good people to begin with. Some Catholics are good, but these Crusaders that claim to murder people for God, I think they messed up. Like I've said this before, but let me state that all people that come to Jesus, even Christians, even Buddhists, Hindus, Satanists, Jews, all the Jews that come to Jesus will be saved unless they mock the Holy Spirit. Everyone has a chance to go to Jesus, especially when they're young, and especially when they are honest and say, "I have made a mistake," especially when they do that. And it's basically, I believe, everyone who comes to Jesus and honestly comes to him and basically says, I'm sorry, Jesus, I cannot do this on my own. I repent from all my, not sin, but all my ways of thinking. I cannot do this on my own. Not to sin, I'll have you in my life, Lord Jesus, to basically one day lift all my sins up away from heaven. And know that I will try not to partake in sins anymore. I want you to lift those away from me and all that good stuff. Guys, we're never going to be perfect on earth. We are never going to be perfect on earth. And even more interesting is we're still going to have sin on this earth. But the best news ever is once we get to heaven, we do not have a license to sin, but God is getting rid of our sin one by one. And in heaven, we will have in heaven we will have no sin in our life. We will have no sin whatsoever, and that's going to be the most awesome thing that we can ever have. No sin in our life, because that'll make us feel so peaceful inside, so loving, so joyful of our lives. Every fruit that you can possibly have, and then some, I believe. Because you'll be made holy, you'll be made, some of you will be, I don't know, like kings, depends on who we really are, because you'll be the ones ruling the heavenly places with an iron rod, And I think I know what the iron rod looks like, but I'm not going to say it because it'll be up for you to decide for yourself what you think the rod looks like, because what I think the iron rod looks like is symbolic. It's symbolic of what Jesus has done for us and what he will do for us. So that's a bit of a what do you call it? Get a bit of a hint. Sorry about that. Oh man, I better get this one out of my pocket before I start putting things in it. Get out there. So you will rule this planet with iron knowledge, and so will we. And not even that, we will look exactly like Jesus Christ in heaven. He has a white, like he has still his natural skin color, but we have a white light around our spirit. Our spirit is white colored, and our dress color is white. Everything about us will be white and shiny and bright. Now, for one thing, his eye color can change no matter what. Like it could be red, or it could be blue, or it could be all kinds of colors. And the one that basically set us apart is the ring on our hand for ruling. That's always for ruling. We can either have blue, or red, or green, or gold, or whatever, silver, Jesus has all the colors. That's what separates him and us. And we also have jewelry around us, like necklaces. Oh, excuse me, necklaces and rings and all that. Yeah, we have a necklace around us for honor, and that's mainly the same color as us. And Jesus has a red sash around his robe. And I think he's also has a crown around his head, so that's another jewelry feature. And I think Jesus' crown is silver color, but it's really a rainbow of diamond. So remember, silver is for redemption, and gold's for purity. So he will have a gold diamond, like rainbow diamond. His ring is going to be gold, and our ring is going to be silver. His ring is going to be gold, and it's going to have a diamond with rainbows of colors. That's for the people that are wanting to come here. That's just information. Now, what will we look like? Now, if you have a vision about what we look like in heaven and what the Father looks like in heaven, because remember, Jesus looks like the Father, and he does not look like the actual Jesus on the paintings. He does look a little like that guy, but remember, Jesus on earth was born of a Jew. Back then they were olive, black olive. And yes, Jesus was a Jew, not a Christian. He was a Jew. And remember, we're supposed to have. Oh boy, that's good. That's good. So we're supposed to have. What was that? Anyway, we're supposed to. Let's get distracted. We're supposed to have a. I think. Anyway, we need to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and of course. Well, anyway, let Jesus be part of your life, and let the Lord discuss what's you're supposed to. Let the Lord discuss the information about you, and also if he shows himself up in your vision, because remember he was part of the olive color and black, but also he has braided hair, and the early depictions of his hair around here that wasn't kind of braided, but I mean, he had a kind of a birthmark right over here. That's part of a Jew. You know, regular Jew. And he had a beard all the way down to here, I believe. Either he had a 1 inch beard or he had a 1.5 inch beard. Because you gotta remember, some people that are Africans or part of Jews, they love to have their beards kind of thick and bushy, but not too thick and bushy because they don't like it too thick. And some of the people that are African or Jew, they like to have their hair braided. And I think Jesus had his hair braided by people who loved him, like his family that loved him and everyone. Not all of his family loved him because they didn't believe, but it was Mary that braided his hair, and it was Jesus that braided Mary's hair. I think that's not what that's all about, but what this is really all about is that Jews support themselves through hardship. I think the reason why they're rich is because not really they want to be evil or anything like that, is they want to support themselves to a full extent. Some of the people became rich because they were greedy and proud and wanted to support themselves. Or on the other hand, I've heard of Jews. Yes, some Jews are poor. Not all Jews are rich. But on the other hand, we as believers will be very rich. We'll have everything. That's if we do not have all sin in our life. Because if we keep on being chastised and have full sin in our life, it'll be like we had nothing. So remember that. I mean, we'll still be able to wander heaven, but we will not have a home. We will not have a home ourselves. So let's just be as good as we can until we get to heaven. Let's fight the battle and just claim the victory as ourselves with Jesus. We're supposed to have control in our lives. We're supposed to have control. Even though I'm fighting, even though I'm fighting the battles with, you know what it is. You heard it 2 videos ago. That doesn't mean I'm getting worse in it. It's just I'm getting better. It's becoming less. My thoughts are becoming less perverse. I used to love all these horrible things, but now I just love simple things. I just love simple things. Now you know what I mean, but but where does this all come from? I got this kind of lust when I was basically a child that was about to be a Satanist, and then I became a Satanist, and I taught myself how to do certain things as a Satanist. Now, I know who's gonna go against me and literally, to say I'm a pure loser and all that. And that's his words, not mine. But that doesn't mean that we get to say whatever we want. Anyway, the last important comment I want to make is Jesus, his beard can be cut off. We can cut off our beard. But Jesus in heaven, or the Father, I'm going to describe what he looks like. The Father has, we're near the end of the video, okay? So the Father has kind of a smaller beard. His face is whitish, very white and shiny. And his hair is like it's like the Father's. This skin is literally like the Father. And his eyes can be any color he wants it to make it. Like yellow or red or blue or green, whatever it is. Remember, he has a rainbow of colors, so he can make it orange, he can make it purple, he can, make it aqua. And he can even make it pink, even though he doesn't feel like doing that all the time, but it's just for utter love. So, if you see it pink, know that you're in for a big deal of perfected love. So anyway, that's not. Let's not talk about the eyes. His face is kind of thin, but royal in every single way. You can see royal in Japanese way, where it's just not old fashioned Japanese, but really in a gentlemanly. It's like very much gentleman. Like he can be really gentleman and royal, or it can be like powerful royal as in England or Jerusalem or anything like that in Europe, or it can be royal and authoritative, which we do not want, like in America and other places, like in Canada, in Australia, and other places like that, or it can be a royal, like I haven't seen that part, but like the Middle East, Asia, anywhere you see it's royalty, you can really see it everywhere, even in Africa. Remember, Jesus has every single um, every single human DNA came from God. Every single animal DNA came from God. Everything that is created, not from our hands, but from God, came from Him through His DNA, and His DNA was created by His breath, and His DNA came into everything single. Like imagine this: even the walls have a little strain of DNA that has nothing to do with us, but with God. Now, if you look carefully into a rock, I know it's very strange, but a rock that He created was once a part of Him. It was part of His bone, I believe, but it was part of Him. The trees was part of His, He created a tree with thick cells. I think the thick cells are more like, I don't know, like muscles. Actually, more like veins. The trees are more like veins in it. Yeah, the trees are more like veins. Veins are very tough. And the rest of the animals are like the rest of Him. By the way, we're like the head of Him. So where are we? In the mind? Okay, that's part of a mind. But so is the elephant. And so are the monkeys. There's no such thing as evolution. Let's face it. But there's a such thing as selective creation. That means He selected His creation to be part of. That's something part of that. He wanted to select His creation to be part of their life. Literally at the end. Like He wanted to select His creation to be part of Him, but also part of that mother that was born through that child. Because at the very end, all of His creation will either be in the dirt, perished, not 7 to 8 Adventures, of course, but in the fires of hell, or they'll be with Him. He does not choose to be like that. He does not wish it to be like that, but He knew it was going to be like that. Because He knew everything was going to happen preordained. Now, if you think, oh, am I saved? Ask Jesus that. And if you don't know how to get that answer, just get the gut feeling. Don't commit suicide if you get rather no answer. Because once you're saved, He'll give the answer that you were definitely saved. Now, I believe that once you are saved, you cannot lose your salvation. It says it very clearly in the Bible. Look it up on Bible, not Hub, but Open Bible. Look up salvation on. Look at the verses. Because Open Bible Info, yes, Open Bible Info will literally show you. Just type in, can I lose my salvation? It will not say that clearly. And just type in salvation. So type in salvation, how do I get salvation, and all that good stuff. And you'll see that Once you get your salvation, you cannot lose it. It was preordained beforehand. So even then, even Buddhists, Muslims, Jews, Satanists, Christians, everyone that believes in him shall be saved. And once we're saved, we will be able to see him in heaven and see the wonders of heaven and wonders of this world that we have never imagined before, because we cannot imagine how great heaven will be. Nor can we ever see it with our own physical eyes. We can see spiritual eyes. You can see spiritual stuff with our spiritual eyes, but not with our physical eyes. Because Jesus is truly, truly awesome. He created every being, even the demons. And remember this: the demons were created by God as angels. They fell. Not worshipped, but fell in rebellion. They're still created beings, but with a curse. And the point I want to get at is, they still have that part of God in him, that ruling part, that, part of wanting to be part, like supporting. They have the part of supporting themselves, the ruling part. They still have the part of God. They will not admit that with anyone, because they still have that ruling part of God within them. Also, they have the supporting of themselves, and they can still create things. Another thing they can do is have each other's backs, protect each other, and they'll live twisted, but they still have whatever love they have left for each other. Even then, these demons are quite twisted. They all go against us because they have full amount of evil. Because even though they have a little bit of God in them, doesn't mean they have any good in them. Because all their good has been corrupted into doing harm to us. Because they'd rather fight against us and support themselves. They're still good. A different type of good that they have for themselves. Like we have a good for ourselves. And God has good for everything. He's all good. Like we have some of God and some of sin. Demons have rejected themselves, so they rejected themselves away from God, so they hate God with all passion. And they support themselves. Because sin is separated from God. So your choice is to be mocking everything because to be mocking everything and to be unpopular and truly hateful and separate everyone from you, because once you decided to follow Satan and separate yourself from Jesus, that's a choice. Or you can actually come to Jesus when Jesus tells you to come to him. Once you do that, you will be forever saved, and you will be having a lot of love around you and support, even though there will be still hate around you from those that mocked God. Remember that. Even though the Jews, some of the Pharisees have done the same thing, okay? Alright, I'll be done now, okay? Bye.